Imagine moving into your dream home only to discover your roommate is a surfer ghost who controls the thermostat with his mood and thinks rent is just a state of mind. Join us for a laugh-out-loud, heartwarming story about an uptight accountant and his spectral bro, Jeff, as they team up to salvage a disastrous date and find harmony in a haunted house. Now, find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and let yourself unwind.
The house was an architectural panic attack. It was a lemon-yellow Victorian perched on the edge of a coastal town that smelled of brine and fish tacos. The lacy trim was excessive, the eaves crowded, and the porch wrapped around the structure tight enough to choke it. If you squinted from the railing, the ocean flashed a strip of blue between a seafood shack and an old bowling alley masquerading as a yoga studio. It was cheap, suspiciously cheap. To Robert P. Henderson, junior accountant at Miller Associates, the price was improbable. He had a spreadsheet rearranged 3 different ways to accommodate the cosmic clerical error that must have led to this number. Rob owned 3 types of graph paper and used 2. He never met a receipt he didn't categorize. The day he got the call from Mr. Gutheridge about the house, his body flooded with an endorphin rush usually reserved for tax refunds. He drove to the showing immediately in his sensible sedan, the emergency kit in the trunk arranged by frequency of disaster. The landlord, an elderly man with a comb-over, shoved the keys into Rob's hands. "Big place for one fella," Mr. Gutheridge said, removing and replacing his hat 3 times. His eyes were watery. "She likes to breathe. She's airy." "I appreciate ventilation," Rob said. He inhaled the house's perfume. Old wood, dust, lemon cleaner, and a scent suspiciously close to coconut. He chalked it up to the previous tenant's beach candles. "The light, the ceilings, the crown molding. Look at that crown molding." He signed the lease. It wasn't until his 3rd trip moving boxes from the car that the thermostat tried to bite him. "Ow!" he yelped, jerking his finger back. The thermostat, a vintage round dial, had been set at 68. Without Rob's touch, the needle slid to 45. It ticked loud in the quiet hall. Rob slapped his palm against it and shoved it back up. "Faulty spring," he muttered, massaging his finger. "Deferred maintenance, historic home ownership." By late afternoon, the living room was finished. A beige couch, a beige rug, beige curtains, and a plant he had researched for its resilience. Rob stood back, hands on hips, and assessed the room. Perfect. His phone buzzed. A calendar alert reminded him to hydrate. He poured a tall glass of room-temperature water and took a sip. Settling on the couch with the remote, he pressed the power button, bracing for financial news. The TV erupted. A camera panned across a massive snarling wave. A narrator exclaimed, "Look at the face on that beast. 30 feet if it's an inch. We are in the belly of Poseidon, my friends." Rob frowned. Legends of the Pipeline. Channel 328. He had not ordered Channel 328. He pressed Guide, scrolled to News, and selected his channel. The screen flickered, sighed, and immediately selected a documentary featuring tanned men in board shorts. He tried again. Guide, News, Enter.
Sandra Bullock gave way to Patrick Swayze. "Via con Dios," Swayze said. "Point Break," Rob whispered. He set the remote down, stood up, and went to the router. He unplugged it. He counted to 60. He plugged it back in. The television greeted him with surfing. "Crossed signals," he said. "Neighbor interference." He turned the TV off. It stayed on for a second longer, reconsidering, then obeyed. The bathroom upstairs featured a clawfoot tub, tile floor, and a window facing the sea. The first shower in a new house is a baptism. Rob took his time, testing the knobs, adjusting the shower head. The heat washed over him. He exhaled. Then, the warmth vanished. The shower curtain blew sideways and stuck to him. He slipped, catching himself on the soap dish. "Hypothermic draft," he gasped, shaking under the hot water. His breath came out in plumes. He lunged out of the shower, wrapped himself in a towel, and went to the mirror. Faint, finger-traced letters stood out in the fog. "Surf's up, bro." Rob stared at the message. He wiped his hand across the mirror. The letters blurred into a smudge. He nodded. Condensation pattern. Pareidolia. The house settled around in with a creak. That night, he unpacked kitchen boxes. He slid his knives into their block by size, arranged the spices alphabetically, and placed the fruit bowl on the counter. In the morning, a lemon sat in the previously empty bowl. He took the lemon, cut it in half, and put it in water. "Thanks," he said to the house. The cabinet door rattled. By the second week, Rob adapted. He bought a space heater for the bathroom. He flipped the circuit breakers to see if the living room's obsession with surfing could be rerouted. He called the cable company and used words like unacceptable disruption, which got him a $10 credit. He purchased earplugs labeled Ocean Waves. He added a line in his budget app, entertainment, an extra $20. He labeled it Ecto Fees. It was a Tuesday. Rob was reconciling a stubborn set of payables when the temperature dropped. Not in the bathroom this time. Here, in the living room. Cold air hit the back of his neck. He turned. The windows were shut. He looked back at his laptop. His cursor moved. He wasn't touching the trackpad. The cursor drifted across the desktop, navigated to the browser, and opened a new tab. It typed www.surfline.com. Rob slammed the laptop closed. "Absolutely not," he said to the air. "No more of that." The air smelled of coconut and salt. Rob stood. "Listen, I am a very tolerant person. I recycle. I write a thank you email after every meeting. But this is my home. Rule 1, no touching the computer. That's it." Silence. Then a soft sound from the coffee table. The remote control rotated a quarter turn and scooted 2 inches to the left. "Thank you," Rob said. Then he paused. That was sarcasm, wasn't it? The remote scooted back half an inch.
It came to a head on a foggy evening. Rob sank into the couch with a cup of tea. He had started to accept the TV's choice on weeknights. The documentary featured a sun-bleached narrator. A wave rolled across the screen. "This is where you find out who you are," the voice said. Rob was about to roll his eyes when the couch sighed. The entire frame heaved. Rob's tea sloshed onto the coaster. "Okay," he said. "Rational adult." He set the tea down. He turned his head. The air above the couch shimmered. Heat rose, deepened, and shifted. There was a presence, and then a man, or the suggestion of a man, semi-translucent. He wore board shorts in teal and pink hibiscus. His hair was a shaggy crown of sun-bleached strands. On his wrist, a friendship bracelet hovered millimeters from his skin. He smiled. "Yo," the ghost said, pushing his sunglasses up his forehead. "Hey man, you got any snacks?" Rob opened his mouth. His fight-or-flight reflex failed. "You're in my house." "Jeff," the ghost said, letting his arm drift through the back of the couch. He held out his hand, then looked at it when it phased through the coffee table. "Jeff, no relation, just Jeff. Died in '88. Big wave, bad landing. You following?" Rob stared. "You're a ghost." Jeff's thumbs popped up. "A ghost, but make it coastal. I died doing what I loved, and now I haunt where I love to nap. That couch? Solid nap couch." Rob stood. "Please don't touch my electronics." Jeff cocked his head. "Dude, relax. Electronics are cool, but cable package decisions made without consulting the resident expert? Not cool." "Oh no," Rob said. Jeff pointed at the television. It turned on to a montage of slow-motion waves. "This slate of options? Brutal. Dead behind the eyes. You got news, you got weather, you got documentaries about boats moving in straight lines. Where's the juice? Where's the X Games?" "I did not purchase the extreme sports tier," Rob said. Jeff settled his knee on the couch, his weight applying itself to the cushion even as his foot drifted through the leg. "Look, you seem like a nice beige man, but we gotta get you into the Platinum Plus All-Access Thrill Bundle. I need my fix." "I am not upgrading my cable for a stranger who floats over my furniture," Rob said. "Also, who are you to demand things? You're not paying anything. The utilities are under my name." Jeff bobbed in the air. "Money is just paper chains, bruh. I tried to take my wallet into the next world. Vaporized. My board made it for a while, then your landlord put it in the garage." "My rent is not paper chains," Rob said. "It is deeply real. You can't just squat in a home and demand high-def adrenaline." "Squat?" Jeff laughed. "Bruh, I've been here longer than you. I have seeped into the joists. I know which floorboard squeaks. You just moved in with your neat shoes and your cardigan." "You cannot be here," Rob said.
It is a violation of my lease.
He grabbed his briefcase and pulled out the lease. He scanned the sections: pets, smoking, sublets. Ghosts were not mentioned. "Let me be clear," Rob said. "If you exist in this space, we need boundaries. Rule 1, do not touch the thermostat. Rule 2, do not change the television while I am watching. Rule 3, do not touch my shower." "And Rule 4, Jeff said, flipping backward slowly, you get the extreme sports tier, or I will make sure your shower's Arctic blast hits exactly when you shampoo. I can get creative with the sand." Rob flinched. He had found sand between his toes that morning. "You are blackmailing me with microclimates." "And misplacing your remote," Jeff added, reaching down and phasing his fingers into the cushions. He pulled the remote out. Rob snatched it from him. "This is unacceptable." "It's not a joke," Rob said. "I am responsible. I am not about to share my home with a stranger who can't even make coffee." "Try me," Jeff said. "I can manipulate things if I try. It's like doing pull-ups with your soul. Takes focus. But if you want to barter, I'm down." "You cannot barter with vibes." Jeff floated higher. "What about services? I can keep other spooks out. You got a basement? I guarantee there's a Gertrude down there. I can control the suspicious puddles." "I do not have a Gertrude," Rob said. "Everyone's got a Gertrude," Jeff said. "I can also help you rearrange furniture without hurting your back." He lifted a hand, concentrated, and the knife block on the counter slid an inch to the left. He sagged. "See?" "I have a dolly," Rob said. They stared at one another. "Fine," Rob said at last. "We compromise." Jeff's eyebrows lifted. "What you got?" "Rule 1 remains," Rob said. "Thermostat is off limits. Rule 2, designated television hours. If you refrain from hijacking my set between 6 and 8 p.m. on weekdays, I will consider a tier upgrade on the weekend. I will also purchase a separate TV for the guest room." "And in return, I get extreme sports?" "In return, you get weekend access and you do not disrupt my work. If my laptop opens to Surfline one more time, I will write my own exorcism." Jeff waited. "Okay, average Joe, we can try this. I'll be chill." "You shook my wine glasses?" Rob asked. Jeff grinned. "Test run, my bad." "Don't test me," Rob said. "Do you need food?" Jeff made a face. "Not really. Sometimes I absorb the essence. Pizza rolls? Delicious, vibe-wise, but I can't chew. TV is a snack for my eyes." Rob rubbed his temple. "Okay, we need to draft an agreement." He sat down at his laptop and titled the document Roommate Agreement V1.0. Jeff drifted closer, peering over his shoulder. "Whoa, serious font. Looks like a tax audit waiting to happen." "At least I have taxes," Rob said. Jeff clutched his chest. Ouch. They worked out an arrangement. Rob wrote things, and Jeff compromised on surf documentaries at a whisper on Saturday mornings. By midnight, the house had settled. Rob lay in bed, listening. From somewhere above, he heard a rhythmic tapping, like someone drumming on a water bottle. He pulled the covers tighter. He thought about Jessica Morales, senior marketing executive. He pictured her trying to process "surfs up" on the bathroom mirror. "At least there are no bugs," Rob whispered. He heard a thump in the hallway, followed by whispering laughter and the smell of coconut. He sat up. "Jeff, if you are throwing a party..." He let the threat trail off. He lay back down. In the morning, his coffee was brewing when he came downstairs. He hadn't set the timer. A Post-it sat on the counter. "Coffee is life. You're welcome. P.S. Swell is up." "You used my pen," Rob said, "and my beans. Thank you." The thermostat stood innocent. The TV sat silent. He took his coffee to the porch. A gull hopped by with a burrito wrapper. He sipped the coffee. He was in a lease. He had a roommate. The roommate was a ghost. He went inside. He called the cable company. "Yes, I'd like to add an additional television to my plan." Then he looked at the ceiling. "If you ever shove me while I am carrying something hot, I will get a dehumidifier so large it qualifies as a vehicle." From the living room, "Chill, man. Keep the heat in your spreadsheets." Rob scrubbed a hand over his face and laughed. He added a new line item to his budget: ghost mitigation. He put Post-it notes on his remote. "Do not move." He taped them down. He printed a sign for the bathroom. "Shower zone is a sanctuary." 10 minutes later, someone had drawn a wave in the corner. He was reconciling a spreadsheet when the television clicked on. Rob didn't look up. He raised his hand. 8-minute segment.
then back to regular programming. The TV shrugged with a sound. Jeff materialized in the armchair, cross-legged, gazing at the surfer on screen. "That," he whispered, "is amortized bliss." "You don't know what amortized means," Rob said. Jeff tipped his head. "Teach me." "Pay half the cable," Rob said. "I can do your aura taxes," Jeff said. "There's no such thing as aura taxes." "Exactly," Jeff said. "No loopholes." Later, Rob called his mother and used words like quirky and neighbor noise. He asked the ceiling that night, "Are you going to be here forever?" "Forever's long," Jeff's voice came from the living room. "Let's start with month to month." Rob dreamt of surfboards sorted by risk tolerance. By Thursday, Rob learned the refrigerator mambit spelled sup bra, and that 80s power ballads kept the bathroom warm. He taped a card to the mirror, enough with the drafts. It was underlined in jelly. "Okay," Rob said on Saturday morning, "we're going to co-author rules." Jeff hung upside down from the ceiling. "We already did that. This time, we bullet point. This time, we do it like adults." Jeff floated down. "You realize I can't hold a pen?"
"I will initial for you," Rob said. He wrote JE next to TV hours. "Stop," Jeff said. "What does respective vibes mean?" "It means you will not play ska, ever, in the main rooms." "Bathroom ska," Jeff said. "Got it. Acoustics are tight there anyway." Rob kept writing. He still wanted Jeff to leave, but Jeff disrupted things. Jeff made the house feel lively in a way the trim never could. "Sign there," Rob said. Jeff leaned close. "You're really going to make me watch my shows on the guest room TV?" "If the flip-flop fits," Rob said. Jeff snorted. "You're getting funnier." "I am not." When they were done, Rob labeled the guest room TV Ghost Device. He stood in his living room. His roommate was a semi-transparent surfer who hated paying rent. "I am stuck in a lease," Rob said out loud, "with a squatter." From the guest room came the sound of a skateboard landing a trick. "Sick!" Jeff shouted. Rob spent the late afternoon running a military-grade simulation of romance. A timeline sat on the counter. 6:15, preheat. 6:20, salad plates. 7 o'clock, door. He stood at the end of the hall. "Jeff," he called to the attic hatch. "Summit, now." Jeff's head appeared upside down through the hatch. "Parley," Jeff said. "Pirate word. I respect it." "I have a guest tonight," Rob said. "Her name is Jessica. She is a marketing executive. She likes metrics. Metric number 1, stillness. I need complete stillness." Jeff rotated upright. "She the one you wore the nice sweater for?" "Yes," Rob said. "This is a second chance. If I can host an evening without Arctic breezes or spontaneous ska, I might salvage this." "Ska is underappreciated," Jeff said, then saluted. "Fine, I'll take it upstairs." "I will put the TV in the guest room on a loop of motocross fails," Rob offered. Jeff drifted toward the ceiling. "If I get bored, I'll play with the dust." "Don't," Rob said. Jeff vanished. At 7 o'clock, the doorbell rang. Rob took a breath and opened the door. Jessica stood there, poised. Her coat was structured, her hair smooth. She held a bottle of wine. "Robert," she said, "you look nice." "So do you," he said. "Please come in. The house has eccentricities, but I have wrangled them." She stepped into the foyer. "It smells beachy." "Candle," Rob lied. "Coastal Plain." "Oh," she offered the wine. "Cabernet." "A spirit after my own heart," Rob said. He hung her coat. They moved to the dining room. Rob poured the wine. "2 second chances," Rob said. "Second chances," Jessica agreed. She took a sip and blinked. "Huh, vibrant." The wine glasses vibrated. It started as a hum, then a shimmy. Jessica watched the ripples in the Cabernet. Rob placed his glass down. "Old house," he said. "Neighbor slammed doors." The glass buzzed harder. "Is your table moving?" Jessica asked. "Victorian thing," Rob said. "Floors breathe." "I'm sure that's not how it works."
The temperature plummeted. Cold air nipped their shins. Jessica reached down. "Is it just me?" she asked. The thermostat clicked. The dial spun from 68 to 40 in a single smug rotation. "Robert," Jessica said, "I can see my breath." "Do not panic," Rob said. He marched to the thermostat and wrestled it back. It went to 66, then snapped back to 40. He turned back, smiling. "I can get you a sweater." "Do sweaters fix physics?" she asked. "They mitigate," Rob said. He fetched a wool cardigan. "Apologies. Immersive coastal ambiance." "Memorable," she said. "Music," Rob announced. "I have found jazz keeps conversation flowing." Kenny G started, then cut out with a squeal. Horns blared. A man shouted, "Pick it up, pick it up." Jessica jumped. "What is this?" "Ska," Rob stammered. "Humor playlist, ha!" He stabbed his phone screen. The silence that followed was stunning. "Sorry," he said. "Are we cursed?" she asked. "No," Rob said. "Quirky." He fetched the pasta primavera. It smelled of garlic. He played it. They ate. Jessica told a story about an influencer partnership. Rob told a story about an expense report. It was going well. He decided to be brave. He set down his fork. He leaned toward her. Jessica, he said, I know this evening has been structural, but Jeff was bored. He hovered above the table. He liked Rob. He wanted to help. Rob looked stiff. Rob needed a nudge. Jeff drifted down. He positioned himself behind Rob's chair. Help him commit, he thought. Closer is better. Send it, bro, Jeff whispered. He tried to subtly scoot Rob's chair forward, just an inch, to close the distance. But his hands passed through the wood at first, so he pushed harder, too hard. The chair didn't scoot. It launched. Rob's chest hit the table edge. His arm flailed to verify balance and caught the serving platter. The pasta launched. It flew in a unified sheet and draped itself over Jessica's lap. Silence. Rob froze. A zucchini slid off Jessica's knee. Jessica reached into her purse, withdrew a tissue, and dabbed at the sauce. I am so sorry, Rob said. I tripped. The chair stuck. Robert, she said, I need you to tell me if you had a plan that involved throwing dinner at me. No plan, he said. I was trying to kiss me, she said, and instead you catapulted pasta. Yes, he whispered. She stood. I am going to change. I will send you a bill for the dry cleaning. I would never contest it. I think, she said, you might not be ready for this, for me. It's not me, he said. It's the house. She stared. Good night, Robert. She left. Rob stood in the dining room. A noodle slid off the table. He looked at the ceiling. You, he said, are a menace. Jeff materialized over the table, holding a translucent apple. He winced. Whoa, Jeff said. Heavy vibes. Rob pointed at the ceiling. You are going to be evicted to the afterlife. Harsh, Jeff said.
I am not arguing. I am finding an exorcist. I will comparison shop for exorcism like it's a utility provider. Jeff jammed his sunglasses into his hair. Okay, feel that. Your aura is a cactus. My aura is a spreadsheet with conditional formatting that highlights mistakes in red, Rob said, sweeping pasta off a chair. And you are a big line item. Jeff floated toward the door. I was trying to help. Be a wingman. Scooch the chair. You shoved me, Rob said. I nudged. Physics is hard when you don't have molecules. Jeff tossed the apple core. You were hovering. Gotta commit to the wave. I have heard enough about waves, snapped. Get out. I live here, Jeff said. Then go exist in the walls, Rob said. Please. Jeff slouched. All right, don't burn anything while you're mad. I'm burning sandalwood, Rob said. Jeff faded out. Cleaning took hours. When the house was bland again, Rob took a shower. The mirror did not fog. The quiet felt judgmental. He sat on his bed and wrote an email. Subject: apology and corrective action plan. Incident summary: accidental collision resulting in pasta displacement. He couldn't send it. In the morning, toast sat on the counter, burnt on one corner, underdone on the other. A note in Rob's stationery. Sorry about the crash. Oversteered. J. Rob ate the toast. He found Jeff in the guest room, watching a dirt bike jump a canyon on mute. Jeff looked up. I am calling an exorcist, Rob said. Jeff flinched. Dude, be cool. Last time the lady sang in Latin and I had a headache for a week. You gave me a bruise, Rob said. Jessica thinks I am unstable. She's half right, Jeff said. You are tightly wound, but you're not unstable. You're just tidal. You are not good at apologies, Rob observed. Jeff lowered his voice. I feel bad, like actual bad. I messed up your flow. I'm bummed. It sounded sincere. I wrote her an email, Rob said. Don't send that, Jeff said. Girls like sincerity. What do you know about sincerity? Not enough. They sat. Jeff clapped his hands. Okay, game plan. We fix it. Not with an email. A demonstration. A demonstration of what? Heroism, Jeff said. We recreate a situation. Neutral spot. The beach park. You step in. You protect. You show you're not a goof who face plans into linguini. Are you proposing we stage a supernatural event so I can heroically protect my date? Yes, Jeff said. Exactly. Not too big. I do wind. Breezes. A swirl of flyers. You step in front of it. I've got you. This is terrible, Rob said. What if it goes wrong? It will, Jeff said, but less wrong because we'll practice. Oh, God. Jeff pointed at him. Training montage. Rob texted Jessica. Coffee at the park. Neutral ground. My treat. She replied. 15 minutes. Public place. Let's go, Rocky, Jeff said. They started in the living room. Jeff insisted on stance. Hero stance, Jeff said. Feet shoulder width. Soft eyes. What are soft eyes? Not psycho eyes. Pretend you're looking at a puppy. Rob adjusted his face. Better, Jeff said. Now you hear wind. Don't flail. Jeff gathered props. A brochure. A chocolate. He hovered over the chocolate.
The chocolate wobbled. It rose, spun, and dove under the couch. "Precision, Jeff," Rob said. Jeff focused on a second chocolate. It drifted and settled into Rob's palm. "See?" Jeff beamed. They took the training outside. The park was empty. Jeff created a small cone of breeze. A flyer for a lost cat named Captain leaped off the board and landed on Rob's shoe. "Prop catch," Jeff said. Rob practiced catching paper. He practiced stepping in front of the wind. "I've got you," Rob said. "Less declarative," Jeff said. "Just, I'm here." "I'm here," Rob repeated. "Better," Jeff said. They trained until the light turned honey. Inside, Jeff tried moving pedals. He sneezed and the pedals plastered to the ceiling. Rob got the ladder. They laughed. By the night before, Rob felt ready. He went to the guest room. "Big day," Jeff said. "I got you." "Isn't that my line?" Rob asked. "Let's share it," Jeff said. Sunday was blue. The park was busy. A slack line was strung between palms. Rob arrived early. Jeff hovered in the periphery. "Gentle rustle," Rob said. "Breeze artistry," Jeff promised. "Minimal drama." Jessica walked down the path. 15 minutes, she said, sitting. "Thank you," Rob said. He handed her a cup labeled J, coffee. She inhaled. "This is not a bribe." "No," Rob said. "It's an apology. I talked like a spreadsheet last time. I'm sorry. For the pasta and the cold. You deserve to know what you were walking into. I have a roommate." "I assume this is not about a man in a hockey jersey," she said. "No," he said. "It's a surfer named Jeff. He died in the 80s. Jessica looked at him. "You are telling me you are haunted." "I am haunted," Rob said. "By Jeff." "Show me," she said. "Gentle rustle," Rob whispered. Jeff raised his hands. The trees shivered. A few leaves danced. It was perfect. Then the squirrel appeared. It was small and held a curly fry. It ran up the trunk nearest Jeff and chittered. It twitched its tail. Jeff was offended. A squirrel disrespecting a spirit. He lost focus. The breeze he was coaxing tipped sideways and accelerated. The cypress applauded. The community board exhibited its contents to the sky. The slackline whipped. A picnic blanket attempted flight. The chessmen scattered. Jeff swore. He tried to pull back. The wind ignored him. Rob saw Jessica flatten against the bench. "Jeff, cut it out." "Working on it," Jeff yelled from the tree. He pulled an invisible rope. An umbrella pulled free from a picnic table. It flew toward them, point first. Rob moved. He stepped in front of Jessica, jacket flaring, one hand up. He caught the shaft, let the momentum carry him, and pinned the umbrella to the ground. Jessica stared at him. "I'm here," he said, note perfect. "Jeff, enough. Now," Rob yelled at the sky. "Rob," Jessica said, "who are you talking to?" "My roommate," he said. "He is having a squirrel-based emergency." Jeff finally wrangled the wind. The air dropped. The blanket fell. Jessica stood violently still. "Is it over?" "For the moment," Rob said. He put his jacket around her shoulders. "Did you see that?" someone whispered. "Hero move." The ocean surged. On the wet edge of the sand, a surfboard drifted inland. It hovered. It wrote in the sand, "SORRY." It drew a frowny face. Jessica walked onto the beach. She looked at the writing. She touched the groove. "Tell me," she said. He told her about the condensation, the training, the squirrel. Jeff floated at the edge of the sun's reflection. He looked humble. "Jeff," Jessica said to the air, "if you can hear me, I accept the apology. But if you ever hurl cutlery at me again, I will hire a priest." "Heard," Jeff whispered. Jessica stepped back to Rob. "You are ridiculous." "Yes," Rob said. "And I have decided that the two of you are weirdly endearing, like a sitcom no one asked for." "I will accept that as a win," Rob said. He offered his hand. She took it. They walked back to the house. On the porch, Rob paused. "My house is an ongoing situation." "I gathered," she said. "We have a roommate agreement. It's new." "Let's make a sub-agreement," she said. "You ensure your roommate does not aim weather at me. I will provide feedback instead of fleeing." "Reasonable," Rob said. Jeff hovered by the door. "You guys are a team." Inside, the living room smelled of detergent. They sat on the couch. Jessica tucked her feet under her. Rob poured fresh coffee. Jeff hovered behind the couch. "Movie?" he asked softly. "Fast Times," Jessica said, aloud, but no commentary. "Deal," Jeff said. The movie started. After 8 minutes, the thermostat clicked down 1 degree. All three of them looked at it. "Don't," they said. The dial clicked back up. Later, the remote tried to escape into the cushions. Jessica caught it and handed it to Jeff. "Popcorn essence?" Jeff asked. "No," Jessica said. Rob brought pretzels.
When the credits rolled, Jeff cleared his throat. About the rent. Jessica raised an eyebrow. I can offer services, he said. I can dust the keyboard. I can turn out the lights. Keyboard dusting, Rob said, exalted. And, Jeff said, I can learn to leave the room when you need space. Jessica smiled. Welcome to the agreement. They initialed a new paper taped to the bookcase. Rules. 1. Thermostat is a democracy. 2. No ska. Rob walked Jessica to the porch. He looked at her. He leaned in. No lunge, no chairs. Just a man moving toward a woman. They kissed.
Inside, Jeff did a silent fist pump. When they returned, Jeff was floating by the TV. He zipped his lip. They sat. The house made a noise like a stove cooling. On the coffee table, a post-it note glowed. Rules. When in doubt, communicate. If that fails, apologies in sand. Jeff floated behind the couch, mouthing the final lines of the movie. Jessica reached for the pretzel bowl. Rob reached too. Their fingers brushed. The house groaned, settled, and stayed exactly the temperature it was supposed to be.